welcome to livealittlehigher.com. This week we continue reading and learning Hovos HaLevavot, Duties of the Heart, and we're in the Gate of Abstinence, the book of Rabbi Bahya Ibn Pakuda. And today he says to us that there's various forms of abstinence are in accord in our Torah. And he says, in response to this question, what forms of abstinence are in accord with our Torah, he responds that the abstinence advocated by the Torah is of three kinds. So one of these is in our dealings and associations with other people, is us with others. The second relates to what is solely our own regarding our physical senses and external limbs. It's about us with us. And the third relates to what is our alone regarding our inner selves, with ourselves too. One is external and the other one is internal. So our traits, our convictions, and the thoughts, good or bad, hidden in our heart, and he will explain this in a concise form in the future. So the first kind of abstinence that we're talking about here, as to the way of abstinence that we should adopt in our way of being with other people, in our relationships with others, he says that we have to greet people joyfully. That when we say hello to someone, we should have a smile in our face. We should greet them with a nice countenance. The Torah always says that you should be the first one to go and approach someone and say hi. Like, we should not sit and wait for people to come and say hi to us. You know, people sometimes are waiting for a person to come and say hi. This is not the way of the Torah. The way of the Torah is you go into a place and you see a person and you approach them and you say hi to them and you put a smile in your face and you greet them cheerfully, and relating to all with humility and lowliness, that a person shouldn't be arrogant and proud and be boastful, and the person should be gentle in the way he speaks and have a humble spirit. And it also includes showing them compassion, kindness, and grace. The way that we should be with other people should be compassionate and graceful, and without burdening them. Like, we shouldn't add to their pain. Like, we shouldn't be, like, you know, sometimes people, like, someone's going through a hardship and the person comes and tells them things that is going to add to their pain. So we have to be careful with this. People are vulnerable and people are going through issues in life. So if you know a person is vulnerable and he's going through a hardship in his time, like, don't add to it. Just instead tell them a joke, take them out for a coffee, make them laugh, take out the burden off their shoulders, make them feel light, right? And so it says also here that we have to perform acts of kindness for them, not hoping to benefit from them or gain what is theirs. So when you're doing for other people, you should do it l'shem shamayim. You shouldn't be doing them for your own benefit. You should do it for the sake of heaven, because this is what Hashem wants from you. Hashem wants you to help people. Hashem wants you to be kind to people. Hashem wants you to be loving to others. So it includes helping them to enhance their religious life and secular affairs, and showing them the way that is pleasing to God. Like, you have to be an example, you have to be a role model. Everybody in this world has something to give, something to teach, and this is what you should carry with you when you go into a place. Like, what do I have to give here? What can I add to this place? What can I add to this person's life? And this is the way we have to approach life. I heard a beautiful story last week from the Rebbetzin in Mumbai, Rebbetzin Rivka Holzberg, may her memory be of blessing. She died in the terrorist attack in Mumbai around 14 years ago. And the story I heard about her was that there was this Israeli girl that came to India, to Mumbai, and she had some personal drugs with her. And in this country, it's forbidden, and she ended up in jail. And so this Israeli girl that ended up in jail, she was a little smart, like, you know, like, I'm not going to stay in this jail. Who knows what they're going to do to me? And she bribed herself out of the jail, and she was able to escape. But she knew that it wouldn't be for long, that they would be looking for her. So where does she go? She goes to the Chabad house in Mumbai, right? And she goes there, and the Rebbetzin is there, and she's telling her story. How can she get out of the country? How can she not end up in a jail in India? who knows what could happen to her there. And the Rebbetzin looked at her, a backpacker, regular Israeli girl, and she looks at her and says, look, the way you look, they're not going to take you seriously, and they're looking for you, so they know what they're looking for, and you're not going to be able to get out of the country. You're going to need to go to the border and try to get through the border to the next country, and I suggest that you should wear a nice dress and dress like a lady, you know, like a elegant lady, and that way they're not gonna think it's you, and they're gonna just let you go. So she brought out a beautiful dress that she wore for Shabbos, her Shabbos dress. She gave it to this girl, and she gave her her engagement ring. She gave her her engagement ring, her diamond. And she said, okay, and she put some makeup on her, and she did her hair, and she gave her her diamond and her dress and her shoes, and she told her, okay, now you look like a lady, now go to the border, and I'm sure you're gonna get through. So a few months later, the terrorist attack came in Mumbai, and this Rebbetzin sadly was killed. So in the Shiva in Israel, this girl went to the family, to her parents' home to give their respects. When she comes into the house, she's bringing this package. She gives it to the mother, and she says, this belongs to you. So she opens it up, and it's the dress and the engagement ring. And she says, oh, the ring. Like, what happened? Why do you have these things? And she says, well, and she tells her the story of how she ended up in India, and she ended up in the jail, and how her daughter saved her life. Not only saved her life physically, but she saved her life spiritually. And that since she came to Israel, she went into a seminary, and she's become more religious, and that she changed her. That whole experience really changed her life. And so the mother says, oh, you don't know the whole story. It says, my daughter came a few months ago to visit me, and I saw that she was not wearing her ring. And I asked her, where is your ring? And she answered, oh, my ring went on shlichus. Shlichus is went as a messenger to help someone. And so we see from this story how really there's really selfless people. Like she gave her her ring, like she doesn't know if she's ever gonna see that ring again. But the thing is that for Rivki, was that for her, this neshama, this diamond, this girl, that in the outside she looked like a nobody, she could see her diamond inside that soul. And she connected to that, and she said, I'm gonna save this girl's life. Not only did she save the girl's life, but she saved her soul. So we see from here, from Rabbi Pakuda, this is what Rabbi Bahia, this is what he's really teaching us, is that we have to really take care of each other. We have to do acts of kindness selflessly, not thinking about the gain. And it includes bearing patiently with the harsh words, pouring out of one's heart before God and not before them, avoiding gatherings for eating, drinking, and merriment. Like, we have to be very careful that we end up in places where we're gonna fall down. Like when you go to places and people are just talking about other people, and they're getting drunk, and they're doing things that are really not in accordance with the Torah, where it's gonna pull the person down. We have to be very careful. We have to abstain from these things. And when in their company, being on guard against all that might lead to disobedience of Hashem, or overstep the bounds of modesty, the restraints of morality, and the like. So this is the first form of abstinence that the Torah commands, that we have between us and other people, the way we have to behave with others, and the way we have to really take care of not falling into the things that we shouldn't be doing. So I want to wish you a blessed week, and remember, live a little higher. Thank you.